Highguard is the game you get when your game design philosophy is the same as conflict resolution at a kindergarten. Everyone wants to play a different game, so you take bits and pieces of each game, mash them together, and then hope that everyone has enough fun that they forget that they aren't playing the game that they wanted to play. I'm sure this works on very young minds, but the barely more sophisticated brains of gamers weren't having it. Just over 24 hours after launch, the game is mostly negative under Steam reviews and fell from its 97,000 peak in the first hours to under 18,000 the next day. I played Highguard because I didn't get to play Concord before it was wiped away. I did enjoy more of Highguard than I thought I would because I expected to hate everything about it, but I definitely did not like most of it. When you're in the action of Highguard, you can tell these devs didn't lie on their resume and are actually from the teams behind Apex and Titanfall. The problem is there isn't enough action. You have to ride your horsey to an area that has crates to open for better guns and equipment than the basic ones you spawn in with. In between those crates, you can mine big blue crystals that will later be used as currency to buy even better weapons and shit from a menu. You get to have one fight over the magic sword that you need to enter the enemy base. The winner of this singular fight then needs their horsey again to traverse the massive empty map to get to the enemy base, open the base, then have really close quarters fights happen until the attackers lose their lives or successfully blow up the plant sites. You can either end the game here by blowing up their main point, or the game essentially resets itself and you have to do it all over again. Instead of specializing in one or two areas for their game, Highguard did everything pretty okay. Siege's wall fortification, Apex's case looting, Minecraft's mining, horse riding from your favorite game with horse riding here, Counter-Strike's store, Valorant's hero abilities, Call of Duty's demolition game mode from COD 4, all on a map that's too big with the aesthetics of Avowed. Highguard doesn't have its own identity. It's just an amalgamation of illusions. It worked for all of them, so this should work for us. By trying to be everything, they apparently didn't have time to realize they hadn't created anything. The combat they claimed they're known for was the best part of the experience, as it should, but even that had its own issues. There's no gun recoil. The bullets go exactly where you're aiming, so that frees your brain for strafing or other movement because you're not having to worry about countering recoil or having to burst fire. But there's just too much nothing that happens between these fights. Highguard launched with one game mode. One. With a ranked version of their one game mode coming sometime later. But the store. Oh man, was the store ready for showtime. Skins for characters, the guns, your horsey, you name it, you could buy something for it. The battle pass was also ready for purchase. I know it's a free-to-play game. I know that it's the store that funds the studio and keeps the game alive, but it's the time spent in the game that makes people more likely to buy stuff from your store. Highguard forgot to be a full game that was fun before telling me to spend. It's for this exact reason that I think the gaming community was ready for this game to fail and pile on as soon as they could. Highguard is the lesson game devs apparently didn't learn after Concord. I don't see a future for Highguard. I've seen people give their recommendations on how to make the game better. A lot of them were massive changes. 3v3 felt the right side for the fights and the bases. I think the defenders spawned too quickly or too close compared to the attackers having to spawn outside, but other than that, it felt right. It will feel like a mess if you increase it to 4 or even 5, like some suggested, so the mid-game didn't feel so boring. The game even has a fast travel to the bases for attacking or defending during the raid, even though they have the horsies that were supposed to solve the traversing the map problem. To me, this shows they realized there was a problem, but weren't able to actually understand what the problem was and implemented the wrong fix. These changes will take time to develop, test, and get into the game. I don't think they have the time needed to get this game where it needs to be, or for people to come back to it whenever it is ready. Personally, I only tried it so I could experience it before its potential quick end. The fantastical aesthetic of the game has never been my vibe. I'm not big on hero shooters with abilities in general because they never really feel balanced well across the board, and the new heroes they add will most likely be completely unbalanced to get people to buy them. If there's still a world where free-to-play games can release and be successful in this hero shooter form, I don't know what that game looks like. Splitgate 2 failed, X-Defiant failed, Spectre Divide failed, and that had a really cool take on tactical shooters. Arc Raiders, originally designed to be free, went to a paid model before release, and that made them make sure they actually developed a game that was worth the purchase, unlike Concord. I don't know how much money was set on fire to develop Highguard, but I'm sure it was a lot. There was a lot of reputational damage too for Jeff Keighley. It's going to be super fun next year before the Game Awards when everybody brings Highguard back up again. I've seen people say that it doesn't deserve its mostly negative reviews on Steam, but I disagree. If the option is 50-50, you either recommend or you don't, most people aren't going to recommend this game. There's really not much there to recommend. There's better shooters. There's better versions of every aspect of what this game brought in. There's just nothing there right now besides a store. I will be very surprised if this game is around in 6 months. I think it's going to be taken offline a lot like Spectre Divide was. Everything about Highguard feels like this game was developed for the store. It was supposed to have so many different elements from other games that you recognize and are fun that this was going to be your new game. You were going to leave everything else. You were coming to this game And occasionally you were going to buy skins for your favorite warden or your favorite gun. You were going to see some badass bear skin and you were going to buy that instead of just riding your horsey around. I can appreciate trying to develop some hype around a multiplayer game at the Game Awards, considering most of the games that win prizes there, besides the multiplayer awards, are single player games. But this wasn't the right game to put there. Highguard was releasing at the perfect window too. Right now, really the only game to be played is Arc Raiders. If the Highguard devs had been honest with themselves about what they had built, they would have known that something was wrong and they could have made the changes that they needed to, but they didn't. Did you play Highguard? Are you going to keep playing it? Are you going to keep your eye on it and see what the future holds for it? Let me know down in the comments. Like the video if you did, dislike it if you didn't. Consider subscribing, follow me on Twitch. Thank you for watching if you did find the video, and I'll see you in the next one.